good to be back. I love it. I love it. We're live. We're podcasting. It was a nice little break, but we're here, gents. How we doing? How we feeling? Pablo, Buga. We're here to discuss keep, loan, sell. Who's coming in? Who's coming out? We're going to get into some transfer rumors, all that good stuff. We're in the middle of Euros. We're in the middle of Copa. There's a lot going on. How we doing, gentlemen? Pablo, let's start with you.
Yeah, not doing too bad. It's been a while, and it's nice to see you boys again. It's very nice to see you again. There's lots to catch up on, my friends, isn't there? And I think this is a good place to come back in. That, to be fair, with where Barca are at the moment, it sort of feels like it's been a bit of a pause in like the first team activity. Obviously, with like you said, the Euros and the Copa America now starting. So I've been enjoying that. Been enjoying the Euros, Spain especially. I think I've been class. So more of the same, hopefully. But it's good to be back.
Yes, indeed. Baby Buga, how we doing?
I'm good. Football festival it's back on, and like the boys been saying behind the scenes, apparently Buga has clicked into gear. So
he's in it, baby.
Yeah,
the
so
people
I'm
are
liking
gonna feel
that.
it.
He's back.
People are gonna feel it. He's back. He's back.
Look at that.
I agree.
Look at that
He's
Peru
back.
shirt, by the way.
Look at this. Our first Adidas shirt.
I didn't even realise you were wearing that, before, until we started recording.
That's
slick.
how
I'm into
insignificant and irrelevant we are as a third world country.
I think Buga is just trying to undersell Peru. I think low-key Buga is actually really optimistic about what Peru is going to do in the Copa America tournament. I think that he doesn't want to show his hand right now, but I think maybe Buga's wheels are turning. I think he's dreaming some big dreams for Peru.
I think you are completely wrong, dude. We're trash.
Look at him. He's sly.
Yeah.
Little hipster. I love it.
I was planning it. I was low-key, not gonna lie. Before the Euro start, I was planning on buying a Scotland shirt.
Oh my!
We're at it already. Why Scotland, Buga?
I don't know, because I honestly I just played with him on like the Euro mode in FIFA, and I got like to the final with him, and then I lost to, I don't know who I lost to. I think I lost to Portugal. But then it was like, I don't know, I just fell in love. But then I realized I couldn't buy the shirt because there's the player that I really liked in that run to the final, which is Lewis Ferguson, number 10 for Bologna this season. He's not being called up because he's had an injury. So it's not worth it at the end of the day. And there wasn't any other player I wanted to get in the shirt.
Not a Scott McTominay? That doesn't inspire you to
fill
out some cash for a new kit? No?
No.
That's the only other player I could think
John
of.
McGinn, that's quite like a hipster player for you.
Oh, McGinn.
That's
that
a
would be
really hipster shot.
Kit. Yeah.
No, but Lewis who do you even knew that player before I mentioned it?
Nope.
Exactly. That was perfect.
Nope. Shaking that one off. Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, whatever. We could talk about Copa and Euros. USA's playing tonight. No big deal. We'll maybe have some of that bubble in during our conversation. But as we wrangle this in, we are here to discuss, like I said, who should Barcelona keep? Who should we sell? Who should we loan out? And then we're going to get the maybe who should Barcelona be looking at to purchase as well. We're a little bit ahead of ourselves because I don't think, let me just start here. I don't think there's going to be any moves until Copa and Euros have been settled, or at least some of the teams start getting knocked out. Similar to the World Cup, you typically don't see a lot of the big names sign anywhere until the tournaments are done for a number of different reasons. But one is your performance during the tournament can heavily influence your paycheck post-tournament if you're looking for a transfer. So we are kind of a little bit ahead of ourselves on the transfer market, but people are talking about it. People start talking about transfers in March. It's ridiculous. It almost doesn't end. So anyway, we're going to get to that, but we're going to do some keep, loan, sell. And I know Baby Buga, like I said, he's back, baby. He's back working on a little list graphic for us. Buga, you want to pull that up? You want to show the people what we're working with? Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's so beautiful. If you're watching on Spotify, consider hopping over to YouTube. You need this visual. Baby Buga putting in work. I love it. We've got buy, keep, loan out and sell, loan in, loan out and sell. And then of course we've got all the Barcelona players, first team, plus a few of the Barca Athletic players that like to drift up to that first team squad from time to time. And we got the top Barcelona transfer rumors. listed there too.
Wow.
I'm excited,
Yeah.
boys. Are we just starting from the top of the list? What kind of order do we want to go into?
Yeah,
There's
I think
so many
we
ways
just
could
go.
slice up this pie.
Bulga, how do
I think we just go from the start. Like I've put some names where there's a lot of debate between in like I've planned it out. So
Oh
our
my God,
discussion is
I just thought it was a random order.
it's fluid.
He's done the order as well.
He's done the order as well, because I was gonna say we could each just go around, like each of us pick a player and say where they would go. But if Booga's got this lined up, business Booga back in town. Go ahead, Booga. Take us away.
I think
Lead
the
this
first one
charge.
is very simple. What do we do with Pedri then? We sell him,
Well,
right?
we keep Shh, Booga. You silly goose. We keep him, right? I'll be the logical one on the pod.
Yeah,
We keep
yeah.
Pedri.
Pedri's a keep. That's an easy one.
What do you think, Pablo, of his performances so far in the Euros?
Different to what people probably usually expect from Pedri, because Luis de la Fuentes put him at number 10. He's actually getting less touches on the ball, and he's more getting minimal touches, but in more decisive areas. So different, but I'm not hating it, to be fair. It could actually be the sort of role he plays under Flick for Barca.
I think that's a right shout.
I usually am a fan of Pedri at 8, like a little bit deeper, conducting a bit. But I mean, for Barca, they just need to keep him fit. He needs to be fit because, like last season, we can't have another season like that with Pedri, because else we just don't see enough, or like nowhere near the best of him. So we need him fit. It's as simple as that. But of course, I'd keep him.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely keep him. I got a quick hot take though. I do think Pedri is going to play a significantly lesser role than what he's been anticipated to play this season. And I say that because of the return of Gavi and the way that Fermin has been playing. I think that those two are actually going to nudge Pedri out of the starting 11. And Pedri's going to have to kind of find his spot back in Barcelona's starting squad. Just saying. Early shout.
It's
Early
interesting
shout.
because like reports with Flick, they've talked a lot about Gavi. People have talked up Fermin, but nothing really has been mentioned about Pedri. But I do think that in Spain, Luis de la Fuente is playing that sort of 4-2-3-1 with Fabian and Rodri at double pivot, and Pedri is playing that more advanced role, right, Pablo? So I think that's where we might see him, and Flick might be looking at that and saying, okay, how is Pedri doing with the Spanish national team? What can I make him improve for Barcelona? So, of course, Pedri is a keep, right? He's one of the best players that we have around, and I think, let's see how he develops. So the next player that we have is Balde, and Balde, I think it's a player that is very underrated in the terms defensively. People think about, oh, Flick is going to make him his Alphonso Davies. But defensively, Balde is also very, very solid. And in my opinion, much better than Davies. So for me, it's a 100% keep.
Keep.
Yeah.
No arguments here.
For me, it's an easy keep too.
Yeah. What about the next guy? Gavi.
Keep.
That's an easy keep. Line up the softballs here early
on.
Yeah,
we're starting.
I see who's coming though.
I'm waiting for some debate.
Next up,
it's coming.
We got Vitor Roque. Will Hansi Flick give him an opportunity that he didn't have under Xavi?
So I'm going to push back on that narrative even. I think Vitor Roque had plenty of opportunities. I think he just didn't take advantage of it. I don't think he ever really settled in. I think he was closer to a deer on ice when you would see him on the ball. He didn't look comfortable. He didn't look settled in whatsoever. So I don't blame Xavi. I don't blame the opportunities. I think he had plenty of chances, and he just didn't really settle in. Short time. But for me, I'm going loan. I'm going to loan out Vitor Roque. I know. Big name signing. I think a lot of Barcelona's situation in terms of marketing and branding have a lot to do with why Vitor Roque is there. New manager, I just don't know, and I'm going to loan him out.
Interesting, Paulo. What about yourself?
That is a twisted take, actually, from you, John.
But here's the thing. I don't think it's that twisted, because if he stays at Barcelona and he doesn't play, his value only goes down. Yeah. And if Barcelona want to move on, we have to take a loss. If he's loaned out, I think he gets playing time. I think he has a better chance of his value increasing, and then we can decide if we want to keep him or not. But if he just sits on the bench at Barcelona, then the value only goes down.
No, I tell you what, I do find the narrative that now is that this upcoming season will be Vitor Roque's chance interesting, because I think if anything, Flick is going to put even more importance on Lewandowski than Xavi did. Like, I don't know if I see a world now where Vitor Roque starts getting consistent starts ahead of Lewandowski. Do you see what I mean? Under Hansi Flick.
I don't know, guys, because I think like I don't know. I'm not sure whether he's gonna put that much impact over into Lewandowski. I think that when he looks at the pressing forward, I think Vitor Roque can be the guy. And the one thing that I believe that it's an indication is that I'm sure that Laporta talked to Hansi Flick about this before he signed. Like there had to be a discussion with Vitor Roque, like put on the table about what is going to be done with him. Like there's no way they just completely went over that as a topic of discussion. No.
I mean, that's fair. I think that goes along the lines of my point of kind of seeing Vitor Roque as an asset right now. I mean, he's 19 years old, right? Already a big name, already a lot of hype. And let's be fair, he hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't done anything.
No.
So I agree that in terms of Barcelona looking at Vitor Roque as an asset, as an investment, you know what I mean? But still, for those reasons, I think we loan him out. But that's me. What do you guys think?
I'd probably say
for me it's a keep. Yeah, for me it's a keep.
Shit. All right. Okay.
Okay. We'll move forward. We'll see how we go.
No. Let us know down in the comments. Right. Quick shout out for some engagement, some interaction. We love to hear from our listeners, our subscribers, our roomies. If you've been listening long enough, so appreciate your thoughts. Of course, as we go through these. Let us know how wrong we are down in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you, folks. Let's keep things moving. Ooh, you did stack this a bit. Ansu Fati's up next, huh?
Ansu Fati.
All right,
I'll let you start, John.
Somebody else go. No, I did first and last time. You got to put me on the hot seat again?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. This actually really depends heavily on whether or not we end up buying or bringing in somebody on loan. Yeah. But without any context, just in a vacuum, I'm going to keep Ansu Fati. Keeping him here.
What about you, Pablo?
I'm going to put on record and say I don't think Barcelona are going to keep him. I think Barcelona are going to loan him out. Probably to La Liga this time. I don't think he's going to be in the 1 to 25 next season for Barcelona. I really don't. I think from what we've heard, Flick's already decided to go for João Felix. So that you talk about conversations with Laporta, that's clearly one they've had.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's a big.
I agree. I think Barcelona is not planning to keep Ansu Fati. That's probably what it's happening, and I think it's between a loan.
I was going to say, well, would you loan him or sell him?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we've talked. I think there are two clubs, like Pablo is saying, La Liga. It's a great shout, and there's one club that I think was very interested at the start of the transfer window, and I don't know if you heard the rumors between Ansu Fati and Leverkusen.
Really, that's so.
I think that free flowing football could be very nice for someone like Fati, and someone like Xavi Alonso could take the best out of him. But that's up there, just in the air as a discussion. So I don't know. I think we should loan him out. But if a good offer arrives, would you sell him? Like if 25, 30 million, would you sell Ansu Fati?
Gosh, for 25 or 30 million, I'd almost like Ansu Fati is one of those players where the investment has risen, or the projected value, I should say, of that investment has risen so high and fallen so low that I'd almost rather hang on to him until we know for sure he's worth 10 million, not 25, 30, and then in 2 years find out, oh, he's worth 100 million. Actually, we sold him too soon. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather ride that into the ground and know for sure. So that's probably why I'm thinking keep him.
And it's also like there's no investment done on Ansu Fati, you know? Like, it's free. It's been a player that Barcelona haven't bought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like just let that investment ride out. A loan logically does make sense. I would like to see it in La Liga if it does happen, but I'm more of let's figure out if Ansu Fati is going to be our number 10 or not, right? Because I don't know if you guys have seen. I think it was just yesterday and today some rumors circulating of Barcelona giving Lamine the number 10, but I think here's what I think. If Ansu Fati does stay at the club and Lamine gets the number 10, I think it's a situation where we might as well have just sold Ansu Fati.
Yeah.
Right? Like just the mental aspect of that, how devastating that would be.
Yeah, it's a bit of like a disrespect. It's like you're no longer important, so like you can stay, but like number 24.
Yeah. It's a demotion. It's an unofficial demotion, you know.
Mm-hmm. But
it's
it could also.
Before. I mean, go ahead, Buga.
It could also be like we're taking that pressure out of you. Just perform.
I know,
you know?
yeah,
and we give this guy the 10.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Man U stripping the captaincy off Maguire, though. Like all of a sudden, Maguire then didn't think, "Fucking hell, I'm not the captain of Man U anymore. I'm just going to start playing class again." He was still like a fridge, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only a big deal because it's the number 10 and it's Barcelona. Like there are players who have traded numbers, swapped numbers because players coming in and out, players getting promoted, demoted, whatever from the first team. So it shouldn't be a big deal for a player who was loaned out to lose their number coming back, especially if they're not going to be part of the starting 11. But because it's Barcelona, because it's number 10, it's the first number 10 since Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weight around it. So I'll be very interested to see what they do. But I think it's one of those things where, again, if you look at marketing, branding, the image matters. How we handle this number 10 situation at Barcelona could be a bit important in terms of how we start the momentum of the season.
So we keep him at loan, right? Loan.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That's fair.
Next up, we have a guy who just renewed, Marc Casado.
Mm-hmm.
What about him? Do you think he's going to have any minutes under Flick this season?
Apparently, Flick likes him a lot. Apparently, the reports are, right, from Twitter, which we all get on Twitter. Apparently, the reports are that conversations between Rafa Marquez and Flick early on, Flick was asking for somebody like, hey, who's a name that stands out to you? Rafa Marquez is like, oh, Casado, all day long. So I'm looking at my depth chart, how I have it lined up.
Yeah.
Some of it depends on whether or not Roberto renews. Am I right? With no word on that yet, whether or not Sergio Roberto is staying. If Roberto stays, Casado needs to go out on loan. If Roberto leaves, I think Casado stays.
I think Roberto leaves, to be honest. I think he leaves. I don't think the contract's going to be renewed. I think Casado, I would loan him out at this stage. I think we could see maybe like a thing where he plays like in the preseason and he gets more starts like a Fermin Lopez. And I think he could be a different profile to what we normally have. Certainly 100%. But I'm not sure at this stage. I'm interested to see how Flick builds the team, particularly if whether we get the transfers or not. So I think a lot will decide on that. Do you know?
Yeah. I think Casado could be like a good sixth midfielder. I'm just worrying he's not going to get any minutes. I'm thinking now, Pedri, Gundogan.
No.
Pedri, Gundogan, Fermin, De Jong, who I think will stay under Flick. Gavi is, to be fair, would be maybe where he comes in, because Gavi is only going to come back in November, and then when he's not going to come back to starting every game, like we maybe only will see Gavi playing properly in 2020.
I keep forgetting the Gavi timeline keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Gavi shirt because I miss him and I love him so much.
Yeah.
And then it's got to be a signing. We have to sign a midfielder. Do you see what I mean? So there we've got 6, 5.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't sold Romeo yet.
You'd imagine we will.
Will Christensen play as CDM as well?
He can, but this is a take.
That's not ideal.
This is a take for me. I think Barcelona are a better team with Christensen at centre back. I think we actually need to be prioritising a lineup that gets Christensen back in at centre back, because I think that's what will win us more games. For me, Castello could have a spot on the team, and I think he probably will with the trajectory they're doing with him and the renewal that they've just given him. I think from the club, the idea is to have Castello on the first team next season, but things can change in pre-season, or if Roberto stays, for example, or if Flick decides to bring in 2 midfielders or whatever, that could change a lot. But I think there's a chance for him to stay. But
Should we keep him then?
If not, then loan is obviously the natural thing. I think that his time at Barça Athletic is over.
Yeah, but when you think about it, Barcelona are not the club who tends to loan out youngsters. Like normally the youngsters we loan out, they never make it through the first team ever again.
Yeah.
You know,
they
like
don't
Carlos
come back.
No.
Yeah, Fermin Lopez is the exception to the rule.
No, but even him, like he wasn't even part of the first team before that loan happened.
Exactly.
Once you reach the first
I
team,
get what
like
you're saying. Once you're in
Carlos
the first
Alenia,
team, sure.
you go to Getafe, you never come back. You know,
Exactly.
I always like Arregui Puig, stuff like that. They never come back. So it's things like I think that we actually keep him. You've convinced me. I'm gonna go keep him.
I was gonna say keep simply because if you go with the simplest solution, we sell Romeu, who fills his minutes, Casillo.
Yeah,
that's the simplest solution.
Yeah.
Next up, my guy. I'm trying my hardest to get a shirt for him. The hipster. He's coming to the club. Fermin Lopez. That's a keep, right?
That's a keep.
That's
a dead-on keep. The Spanish Frank Lampard.
I love this guy, honestly. I hope he gets minutes today against Albania. We're recording not today, not tomorrow.
Well, today at the time.
So yeah. Anyhow, Marc Guiu. He's been linked to some certain clubs. Have you heard?
Yeah. I put him ahead of Vitor Roque right now.
Really?
In terms of last season's performances, I'm not going off of hype. I'm not going off of projected talent. I'm going off of what I saw on the pitch. I put Guiu ahead of Vitor Roque, and I would actually like to see him stay because Lewandowski's not going to be putting in 90 minutes, match in, match out for Copa, for Champions League, for La Liga. We're going to need a second striker that can start. That's going to have a similar profile, right? He's not too different than a Lewandowski. Vitor Roque is. It's very different. And so argument to be made, different look off the bench, this and that. But in terms of starting those lesser matches, I'd actually like to see a Marc Guiu in there.
Oh, for God's sake.
Subconsciously, you agreed, Pablo. I know. I get it.
I do like his profile, to be fair. I think he's got the physicality to him, which is obviously quite rare for a young striker. Look at Vitor Roque, for example, doesn't have that at all. So I do like his profile. This one is a really tough one. The only reason is because it's either like keep, but then I'm worried he doesn't get any minutes. But then it's like loan, and like we've said, once you loan, it means you're gone. If we loan out Marc, apparently it's Guiu, by the way. Marc Guiu.
We had this debate, Guiu or Guiu.
Pablo, you should be the authority.
Guiu, I think it's Guiu.
It's Guiu because I was presenting the news the other day, and they told me it's Guiu, and I said Guiu.
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 Punished.
Guiu. Like glue without the L.
Guiu. Marc Guiu.
Yeah, it's not Guiu.
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 No.
It's Guiu.
Okay. Spanish classes with Pablo and John. Catalan classes.
It's
Actually.
Catalan, yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
So
Okay.
I think
So-
I would keep him honestly, but I think it's very interesting to see
with you.
because Barcelona is gonna cut some loose, like they're gonna cut some. They're gonna make a
Here's the
profit
thing.
somewhere.
Yeah, at the end of this, we'll have to take a look and maybe from a practical sense be like, ooh, maybe we've kept too many players or this
I
or
was
that.
going to say that the only way he stays, if Roque also stays, is with a B team number.
Yeah.
If that's a possibility for the club, then fine. I have no idea whether that's what they'll do. Same with, we might have the same situation with Hector Forte in just a moment.
Who has a better chance of staying and playing for Barcelona next season, Ansu Fati or Vitor Roque?
Vitor Roque, I think.
Yeah, me too.
Wow.
I do. I think Ansu's out of like the plans. Really, like I think he would have to do like a miracle pre-season for them to keep him again.
Gosh, how great would that be, though?
No, but I still I don't know, man, dude. The thing is that the last time I've enjoyed football like quite a lot was in that period where Ansu Fati was brilliant, you know.
Yeah, like
so I really have a soft spot for him. Like,
a
dude,
lot
I wanna.
will do, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, but is that this thing? This next kid has just completely taken him
talk
by
about
storm,
enjoying
right?
football. Yeah, Get out of here. Lamine Yamal is bringing me a type of joy that I have not felt since you know who left the club. I'm not even gonna say it. Don't anybody don't say it. Don't anybody say it in the comments, all right? Because I'm not gonna make the comparison. But I'm telling you, he's bringing the joy back to Barcelona in a way that no other player is. I'm not saying that he's the only one who is, producing on the pitch. I'm not saying that by any means. But the way that he plays, the spark of energy that he provides, haven't seen it since you know who.
Yeah. He's a keep 100%. But I'm just worried about one thing. Is he actually going to be a starter week in and week out at this age? We've never seen this. 16 years of age.
Wayne Rooney. Okay, that's all I'll have to say.
But Wayne Rooney, look, Wayne Rooney, his career at 31 was over. Like he was
to burn
trash.
out than fade away. Better to burn out than fade away. I don't, talk to any Brazilian. All you need is a good run of like 3-4 years, become a legend, sign a huge contract, party it away. That's all you need to do. Okay,
I think you're a bad influence to our youngsters, John.
What are you talking about? That's all you need to do, baby. All right. Big fat contract. Sign it. Go party.
What about you?
Maybe I'm a bad influence.
Well, of course I'd keep Lamine, but obviously it's the worry. The number 10 as well worries me a little bit, but it's one of those things where I can't see them not doing it for financial reasons. And he's obviously going to play every week, just like he's playing every game for Spain now, because he's one of the best players in the world. There's an argument for him being the best right winger in the world, and I wouldn't argue against it. So it's like, what? Of course he's going to be there. Age aside, is like he's going to be playing all of the big minutes for Barca. It's just the way it is. We have to hope that he's got some people behind the scenes or people really looking out for him to manage his minutes and manage his life, because it must be mental at 16 having all of this, by the way. And he seems like he's got his head screwed on his shoulders, but it's crazy, really.
Yeah. So we just then let's do this next bunch. I think it's very simple. We have Eric Garcia. I think this is the last one where we might have a bit of debate. Do we sell him? Do we loan him? Do we keep him?
Easy for me.
What?
Easy for me.
What's your
hit him, Pablo?
Sell.
Yeah. So I agree. I think, unfortunately, he's a player that I really liked when he arrived. But I think that since we're moving with this next Flick system, I don't know. I don't think he really fits what he will be looking in a center back. He's not the fastest. He's not the most physical. He's not the one where we have, I don't know, I look at Osimhen running behind the lines and you want one of your defenders to win that duel one-on-one. Eric Garcia is not going to do that. So I think that's the line, the line has been drawn there.
Yeah, I'm with you guys too. Sell him. I think his value is as high as it's ever going to be. had a great year with Girona. Girona outperformed everybody's expectations. Had a nice little, I don't want to say a title run, but they were in the race there for the better part of the year. So I think right now you sell him while he's hot. You take that cash. It in a lineup where Christensen's having a hard time getting into our back four, Garcia's not getting in there. Let's sell him. Let's take that money and run.
Yeah, and also like if I had the ability to talk to him, it would be like, dude, you find a place in Girona. They want you to start every game. Go there, play there. You are gonna be a part of that team. You know, go there.
Yeah.
You're gonna play Champions League football week in and week out. You're gonna gain that experience. Go play there. Next up,
go where you're wanted, not where you're tolerated. The very wise Oprah said that.
Nice.
Good words for all our listeners out
I
there.
love all these quotes.
Yeah. Next up, we have Hector Fort. Okay.
We got to speed it. We got to
Keep
speed
him.
it up a little bit, I think, boys.
We do have to get through some speed rounds, but so that's a keep for me. Youngster on the rise, baby Cancelo with potentially more defensive effort there. So I'm keeping for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cubarsí, more of the same, right?
Yeah.
Come on, keep him, baby.
He's the defensive Lamine Jamal.
I mean, basically mirrored image in terms of the rise. Interesting that he didn't get into the Euros, but maybe we'll discuss that in the next pod.
What about Ilkay Gundogan? He's having an amazing tournament so far. Great midfielder. For me, one of the best in the world at the current moment. We are so grateful to have him.
Yeah. I think we're actually going to see in this next year or two, perhaps the best of Ilkay Gundogan, like really prime Ilkay Gundogan. With a midfielder of his style, it's not always the his what should I say, his prime in terms of his physicality, right? Like in terms of his age, you would look and say, oh, he's past his prime. But think of Andrea Pirlo in his late years, how beautifully he was still playing. It's not always about the physicality for these kind of midfielders. And I think that's why I'm saying I think these next couple of years is going to be the best of Ilkay Gundogan.
Agree. This next goalkeeper is always generating a lot of debate on Twitter and social media. For me, it's clear as day. But yeah, what about you guys? Do you have any different opinions?
I'm keep, but I understand the criticism. Obviously not to the extent social media takes it, but I understand the criticism. I think there was it was brilliant last season, the season before the one we've just had, obviously, in the one we won the league. Maybe Barca's most influential player, but he's been involved in a lot of the recent disasters for the club, which I think leaves a scar. I think he often maybe is too stationary on certain goals or certain long shots and makes shots look unsavable, and maybe he freezes rather than moving proactively. He's definitely got errors in him, and I understand some of the criticism that he receives. And if I was Barcelona's scouting team, I'd be on the hunt for a new goalkeeper quite soon, actually, I think. But I would keep ter Stegen. I'm more on the side of liking him than disliking him. But I also understand people. If someone comes to me and says that here are the reasons why I'm not happy with ter Stegen, I'd say fair enough. But I'm going to say keep.
For me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, he's the best goalkeeper ever this club has ever had.
Wow. How dare you say that with Jose Pinto still walking this earth? I mean, I'm surprised that he's not calling into the podcast right now. Jose Pinto, friend of the pod, of course, to dispute those claims. I digress. I would keep him for now. However, the new manager coming in, if he came to me and went, hey, I've got the next generation keeper right here. Trust me, we're going to sell ter Stegen for big time money. We're going all in on this kid.
Yeah.
I would hop on that train.
Yeah. The thing is that
and just real quick, that's not to disagree with you. Actually, I would put ter Stegen up there with one of, if not the best keepers that Barcelona's ever had. At the same time, financial situation, looking at where we're at as a club in terms of, are we a top contender? Are we a couple years away? Where do we need to move our pieces financially if we had a replacement, even if it was a young future up and comer. I would say yes, but Inaki Pena ain't it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, Ter Stegen, it's like right now his value is still and recognition is like world class player, world class star.
Yeah.
And I think that if he goes to like a Chelsea comes with an offer or something like that, I understand that completely. 70 million euros or something like that, it has to be.
Pablo.
What
about this?
He's over 21, mate. Chelsea wouldn't sign him.
What about this? I mean, this wild speculation. What if Ter Stegen signed for a German club? Would he overtake Neuer and get that number 1 spot for Germany if he actually signed for a German club?
I don't know. The only German club he could sign for and take that position would be Bayern Munich. Like, that would be the only club where he would, stand out more than Neuer.
Yeah,
I think that they're very similar. I think that Neuer is he just has another stature. I mean, like he's been very unlucky to be on that on the same generation as him, right? That's the only thing I can see out. But I agree with John. I think that if an offer comes, we sell him, or a good offer comes or something. But you need to have your position, your player replacement identified. I think Mamardashvili is really good. I think Diego Costa is really good. I say this because as a goalkeeper, you're not going to have like too much competition. It's like you are in, week out. You're going to have an exponential rise. So you have to be really certain with your decision. But for now, I don't think that decision is made. So they're saying 100% has to be. Pablo Torre, same as Garcia for me. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Same situation. Sell him while he's hot.
I think it's a sell rather than a loan, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
we got
similar.
A stacked midfield.
Yeah.
Sell him.
Go to Girona, play there, you're loved there, you'll get more minutes.
Yeah. Julian Araujo. For me, with the emergence of Hector Fort, I don't think we need Julian Araujo floating around anymore. I think we can let him go. Especially since Serginho Dest is coming back and he's going to be our starting right back next season anyway. So,
look, I think that Araujo will do preseason with the club. That's been said, right? And I also look at right now what we have as potential players. Like right now, our right back would be Koundé, but I don't think Flick is going to play him there. Like Cancelo is not part of the club right now. He's not part of the club right now.
That is true.
We're looking to sign certain players.
Is going to be part of the club.
So we need to see right now, as things stands, I would keep Araujo, not because he would be like a starting right back. I just think that we don't have a proper starting right back at the moment, and if anybody gets injured, who's going to play there? Hector Fort. Yeah, but I mean, like, we still need a backup left back, and like Hector Fort has played left back really good as well. So it's like there's literally we're gonna get rid of Marcos Alonso, which is up next, and we might just well just put him sell. It's like, what are we gonna do, right? I think.
Well, Marcos Alonso, his contract is up, right? He's same situation as Roberto, right? So sell, let it expire, whatever.
For me,
I don't know. Go ahead, Pablo.
I'm with John. I think he's still a sell. Honestly, I do.
Okay, let's put him sell then. 2 against 1. Yep. No problem,
2
boys.
against 1, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, it's the pink hair, dude. Why the hell would you would you dye your hair pink? Like, why?
That's what does it for you. It's the pink hair, huh?
From a guy with exotic hair to a guy with no hair, we have Oriol Romeo up next. To be fair, he had some hair during the season.
He did.
True. He tried it out. This is a sell for me. We talked about other players that can take up his time. I think small investment. Let's see if we can get that money back. Go ahead and sell him.
I think go to Girona, dude. The same thing. They love you there. Go back. There's no problem.
Yeah.
Sergio Roberto, we renew the contract. What about you, Pablo?
I think it's probably time for Sergio Roberto to move on. Also, like Hansi Flick as new manager for me sort of marks a good sort of like stage of like turning a bit of a chapter in Barca history, I suppose. I'm expecting a new Barcelona next season, so I think from what we've heard is that he's not going to be offered the renewal immediately, but if it comes towards the end of the season and Barca think could be useful for you to stay, then he can stay. That's happened for quite a few summers in a row now. Maybe another player would go, I'm not putting up with that anymore. I value myself higher than this. I'm just going to walk now in June or July. Roberto gives off the impression that he would say that, but it's not the case. He always waits to the last minute for Barcelona to give him the offer.
I mean, he's also captain, right? If he would stay, he would still be the captain. Technically, he's the captain of the team, right?
Yeah.
He won't get the many minutes. They're saying is, but I don't know. I would do the same thing. For now, at this current moment, 23rd of June, I would not renew the contract.
Yeah.
This guy, how do we get rid of Clement Lenglet? What's the formula?
Somebody will buy him, right? I mean, did he have an okay year at Tottenham?
No. He went to Aston Villa.
Was it Tottenham? Villa. Sorry. Yeah. It was Villa. Yeah. Did he get much playing time? I didn't track him much.
No. He played some games because they had Minks injured for quite a while. They had Diego Carlos injured quite a while. But as soon as Pau Torres and Diego Carlos started playing, that was the partnership. Esri Kongs as well. So Lenglet, I think he's in limbo.
Put him in sale, but I think the club might be forced to have to loan him out because I don't know if anyone will pay a transfer fee for him.
When does his contract end? Do we know?
I think it's 26. One more year. They could agree to a termination and pay him a small fee to agree to leave on a free transfer now. I mean, put him in. I'd say put him in sell because putting him in loan out sounds like he's like an emerging youngster who's going to come back.
But I think it's reality. If we're being realistic,
it could be.
He will be
I'm hoping we sell him. It could be one of those situations where we're trying up until the last minute, as Pablo said, to try to find him a home.
Honestly, guys, same with Eric, Pablo Torre, and Julian Araujo. Those three could be the exact same. Those three could also be loans because if the club aren't finding anyone who's willing to pay a good enough fee for them, they'll just loan them out again.
Yeah. I, however, do think that they have a bit of market.
Yeah, they do have a bit more.
Certainly. Yeah, like Araujo.
Better than Lenglet.
100%. So I would put him in sell. And Romeo even as well. Like I think those four have a better market than Lenglet, 100%.
Yeah.
Next up, Inigo Martinez. This one's a very interesting one. I personally would sell him. And I do not know actually what market is there out there for this guy.
I see this as a contract termination. I think we do need to part ways, but I don't know if anybody's going to buy him.
I think he's a very good player.
Somebody in La Liga could use him, but I don't know who's going to buy him from Barcelona.
The problem is for me, and Inigo Martinez, 100%, I agree. For me, Pablo is in disagreement because of all his gasp and stuff. For me, Inigo Martinez is a very good player. Like, don't get me wrong. He's potentially up there with Lenormand, for me, and Cubarsí, the best Spanish center backs, and Pau Torres. For me, those four are the best Spanish center backs.
Right now, currently?
Yeah, he was. Like, this season, before this season, he was really good. Problem is that Inigo Martinez needs that week in and week out. In Bilbao, he was really good.
Week in, week out this year for me, but
week in, week out, that's what he needs. The problem is that he's not a player that you cannot, give him the opportunity.
Needs to find his rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, for me, he's never gonna have an impact off the bench. Like he's never gonna have an impact off the bench as a starter. There are other players you can bring in and use that game time as a starter. For me, it's just what are you gonna do with him? For me, that's the thing. Pablo.
I would keep him as like our fourth or fifth.
Pablo sounds like a disappointed dad. He's like, I can't believe you guys aren't going to keep him. Oh my gosh, this is.
I would definitely keep him. He came on a free transfer. I think he's a good left-footed centre back as well. It gives us the option to go to a back three quite nicely too. Good leader in the dressing room too, and just a good centre back in La Liga, by the way. But I think if he was to go, I think there would be teams that would go for him. Maybe not pay for him because of his age and his. I don't think he has that long of a contract either. Maybe one more year or so.
Yeah.
Like an actual sale would be difficult. I get that, but there would definitely be teams who would snap him up. I think Atletico Madrid will take him. I know they're about to sign Lenormand, but they would definitely.
Yeah.
I think, but I mean, for me, he's a keep.
The thing for me is that this next guy, unfortunately, I think the club will be looking like Pablo. I think the club will have Inigo Martinez keep, and Faye, I think they're gonna sell him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he has quite a bit of market
too.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
I would do the opposite, but we know the club needs to gain some profits and money somewhere, so I think that's what they would do.
You gotta make some sacrifices somewhere, and I think that's a good opportunity for it actually.
50 million euros reported by Porto for a guy who had never debuted for Barcelona just yet, but
Take it.
Yeah.
but for me
Take
he's
that
like
money,
another
dude.
Todibo, like he looks really good, like
Right.
he's really really good,
Yeah,
but
but we have a number of really good center backs. You know what I'm
do
saying?
we now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Apart
think,
from Araujo, Cubarsí,
I mean,
Koundé, there's
got
free
Fire.
Christensen, I guess.
think about what you just said. Think about what you
Yeah,
just said.
yeah,
Apart
yeah,
from
yeah.
Araujo, Kubarsi, Christensen, and Koundé, right? I know that he's playing at right back now for France as well, but realistically, we have 4 world-class center backs.
Yeah. The thing is that today,
Go
Pablo,
ahead, Pablo.
yeah.
And they're not old either. And Fire is a left-footed centre-back. Kubarsi is 17. Christensen is also a brilliant left-footed centre-back. Sorry, not left-footed, left-sided centre-back. It's like.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard rumors that maybe Barcelona want to track him as a left back because he's attacking wise. He's very good as well. Did you see the goal he scored for Senegal?
Sell that man.
Did you saw that?
Yeah.
He scored a free kick,
I'm sure
dude.
I did. Oh, the free kick. Yeah.
He scored a free kick.
Dude, this is a guy. Look, it's gonna pay me so much. This is gonna look in 5-year times. We're gonna be like, why did we sell him? Like Grimaldo, very same thing. I promise you. Next guy, João Cancelo. Loaning again. We don't keep him.
I'm gonna make an argument that if it's in the budget, we actually buy him now, because I really like João Cancelo. I've said a number of times on this podcast that he is a baller. Love what he does with the ball at his feet.
Baller.
However,
He's the most talented right back since Dani Alves this club has ever had.
Boy, did he choke defensively in the Champions League and in El Clasico last season. Boy, did he choke. And so that dramatically, for me, cuts his transfer value in half. He goes from 40 million to a 20 to 25 million dollar right back because of the performances in the big matches.
Yeah.
With that said, I think we buy him now. If we can get him for 20 to 25 million, we buy him now. If we keep him for one more season and he gets his head right and he shows that he can show up in big matches, all of a sudden we have to pay 40, 50 million euros for him. So let's take a gamble. If we can get him for 20 to 25, let's buy him now instead of doing another loan.
Yeah, for me, it's like João Cancelo. I think it's like you say, the choke on the big games. It's a problem, 100%. Like that cost us those games. But if you look at a center back, like look, if we had Cancelo, Cancelo, Christensen, Araujo, and Koundé as a back line, I think that works for a game, for a big game. I think that works because I think Christensen, Araujo, and Koundé defensively can sort of do the job that Cancelo is not doing. The problem is that we need to, get to those matches, get to those distances. Cancelo for me is a keep. A keep in the sense of like we buy him now, Pablo, or do we loan him in, or maybe do just not keep him?
Yeah, no, I'd like to buy him. What I will say is like Man City from a selling party don't really have that much to stand on. Because they can't say that, oh, we want a big fee for him because we think he's really valuable for us. They don't. He's never going to be part of their squad next season. Never. So
Yeah.
he will be. Yep. He will not be in Man City's team next season. Yes or yes. So they have to get rid. I would buy him if we could. I would not be shocked if we do another loan for Cancelo. More likely than a buy.
Yeah. But look, like he's a guy that he's gonna bowl, group stages of the Champions League. That's a guarantee. That's a sort of player. I think that's a guarantee. He for me, he genuinely won Barcelona that game against Porto. That's the last time I've seen a right back do that, and he was really superb. Christensen, keep this guy. I love him.
Keep him.
Keep
baller.
Keep him.
Baller. Starter.
Yeah, that's our issue with him. Keep him and play him more, eh?
Yeah. Next up, FDJ, my guy.
I am so tired of the annual sell Frankie de Jong rumors that start. It's as soon as the transfer window hits the headlines, one of the first waves is going to be, ooh, Manchester United is looking at Frankie de Jong. Bayern Munich is looking at Frankie de Jong. Should Barcelona keep Frankie de Jong? Hansi Flick, hey, he actually likes Frankie de Jong. Yeah, no shit. He's an amazing footballer. There's no reason why we would be selling him. There's no truth to any of these rumors. He loves being at Barcelona. We keep him. We keep him, and I'm tired of the nonsense every
Pablo.
year.
I'll go keep.
I was waiting for Pablo to be.
We haven't
Got
got enough time yet left.
I think Frankie de Jong under Flick in that double pivot, if we do it right, I think he can really shine.
Yeah.
I think he can really shine. I really do think that. Next up, Rafinha. I think all of us here, we love this guy. But what will the club
keep him? Keep him. Give him an armband. I want to see him as captain.
I agree.
I think the club will keep him actually eventually. Yeah.
I love this. I love Rafinha. I love Rafinha. Koundé, same thing. Professional. I love him to be.
Class. I like Koundé a lot.
Class.
Yep.
I'm just looking at this. Sorry. I'm just looking at Christensen, Rafinha, and Koundé, and there's one signing here missing. That I would be like, they're all class in the prime together. You remember who do we also sign in that transfer window? The Ivorian, Frank C. Dude, he would be so good under Hansi Flick, dude. Double pivot with Frankie de Jong.
How does he do it? How does Baby Booga work in a Franck Kessié reference to every podcast? I don't understand it. He's a magic man on the mic.
I love that guy, dude. I love that guy.
The legendary friend of the pod, Franck Kessié.
God.
Didn't see it coming. It's like, you know it's going to happen, but you don't know when, you don't know how, and sometimes it just comes out of nowhere with the Franck Kessié reference.
I just love that guy, dude.
My goodness.
Do
you love João Felix? What are we doing with João Felix?
I keep João Felix. If we can loan him in again, I think we loan him in again. Atletico Madrid has no choice like João Cancelo, and the difference is that, like, the price, that's a problem. You know, City can cut loose on João Cancelo. Atletico Madrid cannot for João Felix right now. The only option is on our loan. So I think that's what's going to happen eventually. We may go to the end of the transfer window, but it's like it's always in the making. You know, it's like the biggest, worst kept secret ever.
Yeah, I think another loan makes sense. Exactly what you said there, Buga.
Pablo. Loaning João Felix. I hope Flick can unlock him. I hope someone can.
We've said that for a very long time now with João Felix. You know, I don't dislike him, but I do worry for him. I just don't know if it's the right move, but it's the move the club will do, so we might as well put it in.
But look, number 10 João Felix, that's where he would stand. That was the best João Felix ever. You know, so who knows? Now, my personal favorite, Mr. El Tiburón Torres, Mr. Ferran Torres. What do we do with him? I don't want to. I'm here gonna be silent. I'm gonna let you guys discuss it.
If an offer came in, I'd sell him. I know it's because we got Lamine on the right. We have Rafinha doing everything he can to own that left wing position. We just said we're gonna bring back João Felix as well. We got Vitor Roque. We got Marc Guiu. We got Lewandowski. We got all these investments, all these players. Who's somebody that still has some value that we could maybe get some money back on, that won't be a huge ding in terms of being missed on the field? Hate to say it, Buga, but if an offer came in, I'd sell Ferran Torres.
Yeah.
What about you, Pablo?
Yeah, I'd put him in the keep category because I don't think Barca are going to get an offer. I think Newcastle offered 25 million or something, and Barca bought this guy for 60. I don't think we're going to get close to even 40 for him. So I'm going to go keep, but it does become an interesting one if Barca get João Felix back. They got Rafinha, who I think will stay, and Lamine Yamal, and I think they'll sign a winger. Then you've got your four. Then it becomes interesting, you know, with Ferran. It really does. And then I suppose it will either be Ferran or Rafinha who will go, which I think is unfair if you're bringing João Felix in and getting rid of one of those two personally. But that's maybe what the club will lean towards doing. But
I'm still thinking of Ferran Torres centrally in a way. Maybe Flick can use him there.
No, you just
So
casually.
For those of you that are just listening, Buga just immediately dragged Ferran Torres into the keep category. It was one of the classic Buga. Here's why you're wrong statements.
I'll tell you what I found interesting. There's almost a tiny bit of debate on every single player.
Yeah.
Hence the name. But like it's.
But then what do we do?
Yeah,
What do we do? Pablo said keep. What about you, John? You sell.
Again, there is a bit of a domino effect in terms of what we do with these other players, right? I would have a hard time thinking that we're going to see João Felix, Vitor Roque, Marc, Guiu, and Ferran Torres all wearing a Barcelona kit next season. I don't think that's going to happen,
Agreed.
right? No. I think 2, if not 3 of those players are going to be gone, whether it's a sell or a loan.
Yeah, I think realistically, like, do we think that Barcelona will put Marc, Guiu over Ferran Torres in that order? I think not.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think Ferran Torres would be staying over him because, like we said, it's an investment. You want to make it work. Money talks, right? So should we drop Marc Guiu to loan out, or we keep it as is?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think with how we're looking, realistically, let's do it. Drop him down. That makes sense.
Next up,
that's starting to.
Serginho Dest, US men national team player. Look, I've always backed this guy so much. I think he would be very good with Flick as well. He can play left, right back position. I like him, but similar to Ansu Fati, once you're loaned out, it never seems that you're going to be back. But I love this guy. If I was the manager, I would keep him.
Wow. Okay. I didn't think I was going to get any kind of support on this. Here's where I'm at with it. The world works in mysterious ways. And when changes happen, even though sometimes it seems like it's for the worse, you don't always know the big picture. And sometimes bad occurrences can lead to positive outcomes. Serginho Dest gets injured at the end of this past season. Long-term injury. He's missing out on all the summer tournaments. He's not going to be fit for the start of the season. I mean, we're looking at a Gavi-like timeline. He's going to be out till October, November, something like that, right? Had that not happened, Serginho Dest is coming off of a great season out on loan with PSV. His transfer value has risen, and he absolutely would have been sold this summer. With the injury, with him not being able to start the season, transfer value goes down. I think now is not the time to sell Serginho Dest, and I think for that reason, we're going to end up keeping him, and he's going to sneak his way into this squad. Hansi Flick is going to see that spark. He's going to double down on Serginho Dest, and he is going to be the return. What is it called? The prodigal son returns. He's blessed with a Barca kit. We keep Serginho Dest.
I think, Pablo, what about you? Because right now we have 2 guys saying keep for Serginho Dest, and I bet you never anticipated that.
No. I mean, surely it'll be sold, is all I've got to say. But I understand that. I don't know. It's going to be difficult to sell him, though, for the club. With the injury, very difficult, because he was a nailed-on signing for PSV, obviously, and it's not the case anymore.
Yep.
So it's interesting, but I mean, there's no chance he gets, a squad number next season for Barca.
Think about this, Pablo. Think about this. In terms of our wingbacks, we have Balde, Koundé, right? Those are top options. Then we have Cancelo, Dest, and Fort, and all 3 of them can fill in left or right. That completes our fullbacks. For me.
You only need 2 of them, surely.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
The most probable thing I believe is that he may get a year of no action.
It's sad. But I agree.
I think that's what's going to happen.
If he stays, he's not going to be playing, unfortunately, is he?
I think he
Yeah.
won't get a first team number. Maybe he won't even be registered with a team.
Yeah.
I think that's
So-
what's gonna happen.
Bringing myself back to reality.
Technically, that's a
probably be a
keep. Technically, they're keeping him. Technically,
You think it's going to be a keep?
I think because I don't
I
think
was
it's gonna.
going to say I think he'll end up getting another loan out.
Yeah, maybe like in the winter transfer window.
Mm-hmm. Just because, again, I think his value when he goes to another club goes up.
Yep. Ronald Araujo, that's a keep, right?
That's a keep. Again, interesting speculation. And I saw some of what he said in an interview around, are you staying at Barcelona? Oh, I'm just focused on Copa right now. I'm not going to read too much in that.
Dude,
I think he's staying. We keep him.
Yeah, but it was when I heard that as well. I saw that I was like, you could just say you're staying, right?
Yeah, just say you're staying.
There's no
silly.
problem.
It's because he's not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about Araujo, honestly. So the best.
Is it the contract? He hasn't gotten his renewal yet.
No. The best way to think about it is this was someone quote tweeted it and they said, like, I just laughed imagining how Gavi would have answered this question.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is one of the is one of the captains of the club, right?
Yeah.
Brought like
that's a good shout.
dangling speculation in the end. Like he didn't come out and really take much responsibility after the whole PSG debacle thing. He clearly was very upset with like the treatment from like the press and his teammates like Gundogan after it. So he wasn't really happy to like go down and take the blame for that one at all. And I think he's just felt a little bit of like mental pressure at Barcelona. If he leaves, it would be a mental reason. I really do think that.
Yeah.
One to watch. I would keep him. I think on his day he's absolutely class, by the way. But he's got to decide or fix mentally how he feels about the club right now, the environment, or whether he wants to stay on and be one of these captains. Because interviews like that yesterday, it's not adding up at the moment.
That's fair. I keep him, but my jaw wouldn't hit the floor if I saw that Barcelona sold him for big numbers.
Yeah, I agree. But dude, that would pay me a lot. I really like Araujo. I think he's on his day. He's like talent-wise, those defenders that can simply win you a game. Like it's hard to see those defenders. I think I go Van Dijk is the only one I immediately go to, like individual talent. He's amazing. I think Araujo can be that guy where individually he just wins you a game. And I think that's very hard to come by. I don't think we have that in the squad. Next up, we got Lewandowski. That's a key for me, honestly.
Yeah.
But I know
Hansi Flick coming in.
Yeah.
There's no debate. I've made arguments before for why we should sell him, and I'm not going to repeat myself because you can just go back and listen to the last like 5 podcasts. I think I've said it on. So I'm not going to repeat all that. But realistically, we keep him with Hansi Flick coming in.
Yeah. Iñaki Peña, our guy.
Sell the shit out of Iñaki Peña, and just with all due respect, good riddance. You're not him. You're not him, and that's okay. You can go to a different club. You can do great things for a smaller club that isn't Barcelona, because you, sir, are no Jose Pinto.
I'd sell him too. I think we need to buy a sub goalkeeper, which obviously hasn't been rumored yet at all.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I think Iñaki Peña, like I've said before, the gap between him and Ter Stegen is just way too big. Like it's always been before these previous seasons, like Ter Stegen to Neto, Ter Stegen to Silis, and I think the gap is just way too big with Iñaki Peña. We've seen that at the end of the day, it can really cost you, and you need to be able to have that gap shortened. So now we move into the transfer targets, the most interesting transfer targets. So the best way we can do it, I think, it's like do it by positions, right? So we have 3 midfielders and 3 wingers, wingers/midfielders in a way, and 1 fullback. Three, and 1 guy that is just like whatever. So first position, let's talk about the whatever first. I think because he goes alone. I think that's Jeremy Frimpong. I think he's been rumored quite a bit. 40 million euro release clause from Leverkusen. It's quite low actually for a player of his quality. Yeah. And we've seen he had a tremendous season with Leverkusen. he could be the what Flick is looking as the Alphonso Davies of the situation. If he comes, maybe Cancelo does not get bought. So, what is your opinion with Frimpong? We haven't talked about this behind the scenes, so let's hear you out.
All right. Are we assuming that Barcelona do officially get back to their 1-to-1 ratio for selling and buying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know we got a few deals going on in the background, but that is not official yet. So if we're assuming that, right, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. If we're gonna prioritize a pivot, I don't think we have it in the budget to spend 40-ish mil on an attacking player right now. I just don't think we're gonna have it. I mean, look at our sell list right now. What does that add up to? Right? We got Garcia, we got Pablo Torre, we got Julian Araujo, Alonso's leaving for free. We got Romeu, we got Milke. Okay. We got Faye. You don't pronounce the E on the end?
Faye.
It's a Guiu situation again. We got Roberto leaving for free. We got Inaki Peña. Add all that up. What are we even getting?
Oh, little, very little.
40.
I'm looking at like 15.
Here's a hot take. If those,
yeah,
we won't even get 40 for all of those this summer. And you know why? Because the ones we do sell, we'll sell for nothing, and more than half of them we won't be able to sell, so we'll have to loan. That's the way we work in the market. We might get like 30 mil for Ferran Torres, or like 60, 70 for like Rafinha, or if they can on Vitor Roque, for example. Other than that, we just haven't turned into a very good selling club.
So is this an argument for Barcelona potentially making a dramatic sell like a Araujo? But here's the thing: do we need to? Right? Like,
yeah.
What do we really need to add to this squad right now? Is there a move that we can make that makes us a contender for Champions League? In my opinion, no. We're not 1 piece, 2 pieces away from being a Champions League contender. We're 2-3 pieces away and 2-3 years away from being a legitimate contender. So I would say let's not make a big sell to blow up this squad that isn't ready yet. You know what I mean? I think that would be premature.
A monster in midfield though could be huge.
Who are you selling then to fund that?
The monster, I think it's the difference. Like what we need is the profile more than the actual the profile has to be a different profile. We don't have a sort of player like that. And if Flick is going to play that double pivot, then he needs someone to go alongside Frank de Jong. Because right now, when I look at the squad, there's not a single player I believe can play there. Like Gavi,
like Gavi in there. I know Gavi's not coming back for a while.
I don't think Gavi's it. I don't think Gavi is there.
I completely agree. I think we are screaming for a midfielder, a defensive midfielder, screaming. I think if we don't, I mean, we literally have to get one because we can't go into the season without one.
All right, I know we said we're starting with Frimpong, but I mean, are we buying Kimmich then? I know he's the most, I would say, walk-in ready to be a double pivot alongside Frankie.
I think in terms of price, Mikel Merino probably is the player that we're gonna go for.
Yeah.
What's his transfer value at?
The very same thing. Like it's around like the fees around even like 30 million plus players, things like that. And Real Sociedad apparently is like
25 maybe. I think maybe we could do Bulgar because I think we've got 1 year left, right?
Yeah, 1 year left.
Same situation as Kimmich.
Yeah, Real Sociedad are said to be interested in like in Faye and things like that, players like that. So I think that could be where we get something. And Pablo Torres, well, rumored to Real Sociedad. So players like that, we include them to the deal. I think you can bring it down. Be very similar to what Juventus is doing. I don't know if you know what they did with Douglas Luiz to Aston Villa. They did that 38 million euros. They bought him, included Barrenechea and Samuel Ealing Jr. Players have big players for them. get a player that can add to your squad. I think Mikel Merino really is the player I will go for. He made the most recoveries
over
of
Kimmich.
any top 5 leagues last season. He's one of those. I think could be one of those like outside shouts. That system player.
How old is he?
27, I think.
He just turned 28 yesterday.
28.
Not bad.
I really like Merino. I thought he was going to start for Spain, but Fabian's maybe arguably been Spain's best player at the tournament so far.
Yeah, he's been a standout. Yeah.
But
he needs to get out of PSG.
Everyone thought the midfield would be Rodri, Merino, and Pedri, to be fair. So I really like Merino. I have done for a while. I wanted to sign him for about 3-4 years back for Barca. I think he's class. But I do think that it's just I feel like we're in a situation again like last summer. I really wanted Zubimendi, and I thought he'd be the class player to get. We didn't get him. We settled for less. I think Onana would be an absolute monster in midfield for Barca.
He would be incredible.
The distances he covers, I think he fills a gap that we just don't have in the team at all. I think he enables all the players around him, like good distributor of the ball, breaks up play. I think he'd bring so much. But I will say though, Merino and Kimmich, if you're thinking roughly 30 million euros for one of those, that is a very good piece of business.
Onana is like 60, so that's the problem because he's like an investment for the future. But like the other day, I saw Belgium versus Romania. He destroyed the midfield. He was so good in that game.
Yeah.
Kimmich, for me, the problem is that I look at Kimmich and I think he's a little bit too similar to Frank de Jong.
Agreed.
I could see a midfield where it's Merino and Kimmich. Something like that. I don't think a Kimmich and Frank de Jong on paper looks amazing, but it's like but they really cover the distance.
And Borga, I worry the same a little bit about Merino and Frankie de Jong too, a little bit. For me, I see Merino more as someone who can get the ball, drive a bit, open up passing angles.
Too as well.
Well, for me, I see Onana more as like a holder to break up, and then De Jong can do the running forward. Whereas for me, like Merino and De Jong would both do the advancing.
Yeah, I agree. I think Onana is really the player that if we had the money, we should go for Onana 100%.
Yeah.
But I think he's the one that's like the luxury player.
Yeah,
he's the one that comes in if Araujo leaves. Something like that.
Okay, because that's what I was gonna ask you guys. Because when we're looking at the rest of this list here, right? We got Nico Williams, we got Diaz over there. If you had to choose, right? We're looking at a pivot or we're looking at a forward. Let's say you can only sign one position, but you get to sign your preferred player of that position. For me, that would be Nico Williams. And in the midfield, I'm listening to the arguments you guys just made, and for those reasons, I think I would go Onana. Even though for that, extra 25, 30 mil, how old is he? He's younger, right?
23, something like that.
23, I think, roughly.
For the profile and for the age, and here's why I say I actually go invest in the midfield rather than the forward.
Yeah.
Reports are saying Nico Williams is looking for a payday, salary-wise. Barcelona, we can't afford that right now. That doesn't fit the direction that we're going. We're not looking to bring in a player who's going to be another Dembele, right? That's just looking for what is the biggest paycheck that I can get. That concerns me. That worries me. We're not the club that can be just handing out the fat paychecks right now. So as much as I want to say bring in Nico, right? And I think that's the sexier pick.
Yeah.
Balance out that attacking triad with Lamine and Lewandowski. I think if you look at what Barcelona needs more, I think I go Onana.
Yeah, I agree. I think Barcelona need it more. I love the idea of Nico Williams. I think having him and Lamine on the wing just sort of brings a bit of like joy back to the fan base. All of a sudden, we feel like that attractive team to watch again, who people turn on the TV to watch Barca, which I don't think they've done in a lot of years. And that's what that Spain-Italy game felt like. It was like these guys are just like rinsing fullbacks here and just like bringing like a smile. Everyone, even like neutrals' faces, like it's just a class watch. Like Nico and Lamine, time after time, it's just like these two are like a class. Nico even more than Lamine against Italy. But I will say this about Nico. Spending 60 million euros for a player who will potentially have the same output as Ferran Torres or João Felix is going to surprise the fan base. I think he's class. I think he's better than both those players. He can do a lot for the team, and who knows, maybe his output increases when he joins a bigger club like Barca. Like it maybe I'm completely wrong on that. I just worry about fans ending the season with Nico ongoing. 6 goals, 9 assists, and they go like we've
for me,
left winger who hasn't like got numbers.
For me, Nico. I think for me, Nico is like, when I look right now at the world, I look players that have that amazing double-footed ability. You have Nico. Dembele was amazing at that. He still is probably the best in the world. Kvaratskhelia, players like that, players are very unique. Those wingers are very unique. But like all the reasons that Pablo said, I think at the end of the day, like, you're paying way too much for a player that's still at this age. I want Barcelona to start consolidating the youngsters that we have rather than bring more into, to pull us forward. So I think that Onana, I think I would spend on Onana. For me, that's priority. And if we're looking at 40 million euros, something like that, for me, I've said it before, I really like Luis Diaz from Liverpool. I really like him.
Wow.
I've said it. For me, it's like if we get him, it's like we have Rafinha on the right. He's like basically the same thing on the left. He's like,
I was gonna say he is a left wing version of Rafinha.
Yeah, he's literally like, I love those players. Those players that he in the 90th minute is gonna be tracking back against like the left back of Leganés. He's gonna do that. Like, that's the sort of guy I think Barcelona needs more right now than Nico Williams, which is like, and I think at the end of the day, like, people are starting to love Rafinha more, but you have to go through that transition period where you actually see that sort of player. For me, it's him. Like, I really like that. I don't know if it's because it's like from South America as well, but I just imagine like he's potentially right now in South America the best left winger. You have one of the best right wingers. Well, I mean, Vinicius Junior, of course, left winger, but like he's a different level. Like, I don't know. For me, it's Luis Diaz and Onana. That's the players I'm trying to bring in. No Frimpong, unfortunately. If Cancelo, Frimpong is someone that I love as well, but like, I don't know. I don't know if he fits in right now at this current moment.
It's not what Barcelona need. Would be a great player. Would maybe fit in somewhere, but it's not what Barcelona needs. It's not where we need to invest right now.
I mean, if I would get Frimpong in, if we saw like Ferran Torres, and we don't get Cancelo, something like that.
Yeah.
So where's
let's
that
make
leave
the
us
decision. Then? Who do we go for
I'm
the
buying
midfield?
Onana.
I'm buying Onana as well. Pablo, do you think Barcelona can do that?
No.
But
yeah, of course I would, but I just don't think we will. But yeah,
but I think we just need to let the people know. We need to let the people know that that's our decision. Onana is the guy we would go.
That's our vote.
And then for the left wing position,
I mean, I would love to say Nico, but I'm worried about his salary demands.
Or would you?
I think we're going to end up keeping what we got.
You wouldn't make any signings.
If we sign Onana and Nico, wow.
Yeah, it'd be an amazing summer.
That's not. Yeah.
Maybe I'm being pessimistic. I just don't see that happening. Again, even if we get back to a 1-to-1 situation, we'd have to sell a big name, most likely Araujo.
Oh yeah, I think we'd have to say Araujo plus Rafinha maybe to sign both of these. I really do. Or Ferran Torres, but I think Ferran Torres wouldn't cost as much as Rafinha would cost. I mean, if we sold Rafinha and Araujo, we could probably get 150, 160 million, and then I think we can. Then I think we would be able to get Onana and Nico, but
I don't like that swap. I don't like that deal.
Neither. I don't like that deal.
So you wouldn't make any signings on the left wing?
Ugh. We actually have to though, guys. We can't go into the season with João Felix and Ferran as our left wingers, can we? Again?
What about Rafinha and Lamine? I know Rafinha prefers the right wing, but showed that he can definitely produce from the left.
Yeah, I'd be happier with that.
So
I think patience is going to be key. I know that, again, transfer window's exciting. You want to make moves. You want to win now. You want to have the big names. I think patience is actually going to be really key for Barcelona in this summer.
Yeah.
Let's not sell a big name. Let's not try to blow up the squad. Let's be patient.
And the really interesting thing as well is obviously if we say we don't sign a Nico Williams or an Onana, then on next season's summer transfer targets, they probably wouldn't be there because Zubimendi isn't here now.
Yeah.
We didn't get him.
It changes.
We didn't get him, and now next summer he's not on the list. That we'd go for Onana instead. Do you know what I mean? So by next summer there'll be like another guy we'd get, and we'd say, oh no, we wouldn't go Onana.
Yeah.
It's just that's not to say that neither of them wouldn't have been good. We probably would have won La Liga with Zubimendi last season, but like the point being,
there's always Johnny Cardoso at Real Betis. Just saying. Just
I suppose in summary, we're saying we need to sign a sub goalkeeper. We're saying we need a sub goalkeeper. We're saying we need a fullback who can play on both sides, whether that is Cancelo or whether that is Hector Fortin keeping Julian Araujo alongside him. So they've got to make a decision at fullback. We're saying the club needs a DM, number 3. And we're saying a left winger, number 4. I think those are the 4.
And I think I think the order is defensive midfielder first, of course, substitute goalkeeper. Then I would go fullback, and then I would go winger actually at the end.
Wow.
I would swap winger for fullback, but I'd be with you. Yeah.
Okay, so
defensive mid, backup keeper, and then.
So we had to choose defensive midfielder for us 3 guys. People listening, it's Onana, Amadou Onana from Everton, 60 million euros. And if it was a left winger, Pablo and Johnny saying they wouldn't sign a player. But if they would have to sign a player, they would go with Nico Williams, and Buga is going with Luis Diaz. So that's so you know when we wrap up this.
Put it in the books. The June pod is complete. This will be coming out on the 24th. Today is Sunday. Yeah, June 24th. So we're gonna keep with that schedule. We are still enjoying our summer break. We'll be back with a July podcast, and then before you know it, season starts in August. We'll be back, like I said, in July, and then August we'll be back to regular schedule, weekly podcasts, plus all the shorts, all the reels, all the good stuff. So make sure you're following us on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, all the things. Tell your friends. Let us know down in the comments what you think about our list. Keep, loan, sell, buy. We'd love to hear from you. Appreciate the support, everybody. And we'll catch you next time right here on Más que un Podcast.